Vivekachudamani, 552, verse number 552. Naivendriyani Vishayeshu Niyukta Esha Naiva Apayunkta Upadarshana Lakshanastha Naiva Kriya Phalam Apishad Avekshatesa Swananda Sandra Rasapana Sumatta Chittaha. A person who has realized God or Brahman, Naivendriyani Vishayeshu Niyunkta. He does not, or she or he does not direct the sense organs to Vishayeshu, to sense objects. Naiva Apayunkta, and does not detach also. Upadarshana Lakshanastha, but stays like a unattached spectator, a witness. Naiva Kriya Phalam Apishad, and he does not have any concern for fruits of actions. Avekshatesa Swananda Sandra Rasapana Sumatta Chittaha. The person is completely intoxicated with Swa Ananda Rasaha, drinking the rasa or essence of the bliss of Atman. So this Sandra Rasa means one drinks the essence of the bliss of one's own self. Sri Ramakrishna says, what does he say? Surapan Korinami, Sudha Khai Shri Kali Bole. So that is what he says. So like that, so when a devotee went to him and said that I am given to drinking, he said, I will give you such a liquor that you will be unable to get rid of this intoxication. You will be unable to get rid of this intoxication. So some brand of liquor which is more intoxicating than all other brands. Like this, the joy of God or joy of Brahman is so intoxicating that you will forget all other bliss which you get from sense organs. Lakshya alakshya gatim tyaktva yah tishtet kevala atmana shiva eva swayam shakshad ayam brahma viduttamaha. The knower of Brahman, best among the knowers of Brahman. How can be someone best among knowers of Brahman? The idea is that the person has known Brahman perfectly. Lakshya alakshya gatim tyaktva. That person gives up lakshya alakshya, all the consideration of what is fit and what is unfit. So you have all decorum in society. Like this you have to wear dress and you have to behave like this, else people don't entertain you. So people will have to wear particular dress, particular kind of dress, wear makeup and all that. So that is what? That is lakshya, alakshya. So alakshana means unfit. Lakshana means fit. So this fit, a person is fit for something, a person is unfit for something. But that person who has realized God gives up all these things. And yes, yaha tishtet kevala atmana. And also gives up objects of meditation. Lakshya, alakshya. So that person does not bother about on what to meditate and on what not to meditate. And that person gives up everything and just lives kevala atmana, just lives content in oneself. Shiva eva swayam. And that person is Shiva himself and is the best among people who have known Brahman. The problem is, whenever we read such slokas, every one of you is thinking, I am like that. I am like that. I am a person who has realized God, so now I don't have to bother about fitness, etc. Because the very fact that you are thinking like that shows that you are not like that. So it is better for all people to first try to control the mind. So how many of you have controlled your mind? Have you controlled your mind? What do you do?
Students,
What do you study?
I just graduate
From
Calcutta University.
what subject?
English.
English. And your English is so bad. BA English. From which college?
Calcutta University.
From which college? Huh?
Lal Baba College.
Lal Baba. Near Belur Math. Oh. So, जीवन नेव सदा मुक्तः कृतार्थो ब्रह्म वित्तमः उपाधि नाशात् ब्रह्मैव सन् ब्रह्म अप्येति निर्द्वयम्. So a person जीवन नेव सदा मुक्तः, a person जीवन मुक्ता is free even while living, and kritartho, that person has attained fulfillment of life. Brahma vittamah, a person is a person who has perfectly known Brahman. Upadhi nashat brahmaiva san, that person has destroyed limitations. What are the limitations? What is your name?
Varna Sundar Viswas.
Huh?
Varna Sundar Viswas.
Baapre. What is your small name?
Varna.
Borno. So Borno. So this Borno, he thinks that he is the body and mind. So that is the problem. So all people, most people think that they are body and mind. So unless you destroy this, now if somebody is going to say keep a revolver on his forehead like this, so Barna will be in deep trouble because he thinks he is the body and mind. Wow. Not only Barna, you are thinking of Barna will be in deep trouble. If I keep revolver on any of your head, you will be in deep trouble because you all think that you are the body and the mind. So that is called limitations. What you consider yourself to be, that which you are not, but you consider, you limit yourself from the idea of body by the idea of mind. So somebody comes and tells you, gives you a big book and says, read this book. You can't. Why? Because you think that, how can I read? I have such a limited intellect. So a person who has destroyed all these limitations, that person becomes free. Free means that person does not have repeated birth and death. So Barno is telling, who has seen other birth and other death? This life itself has become unbearable for me. I have to study BA, then I have to do BA in Bengali. Sailusho Veshasad Bhava Abhavayoho Cha Yatha Puman Tathaiva Brahmavit Shreshtaha Sada Brahmaiva Naparaha. So, like many verses now, for many verses now, Shankaracharya is telling how a person who has attained the knowledge of Brahman or God realization behaves. Sailusho Veshasad Bhava Abhavayoho Yatha Puman. So, a person who is an actor is always a human being. Whether that person puts on a dress of the role or whether that person is not in the dress of a role, always that person is a human being. Puman. That person is a human being. Tathaiva Brahmavad Vit Shreshtaha Sada Brahmaiva Na Aparaha. Similarly, a person who has perfectly known Brahman is always Brahman, nothing else. So you may see that person eating breakfast. You may see that person eating Rasagulla. But that person is always Brahman. So you cannot understand the knower of Brahman from external behavior. Can you understand? You cannot. Yatra Kwapi. So again, don't think that you are all knowers of Brahman, only others are not able to understand you. So you are not. Yatra Kwapi Vishirnam Satparnam Iva Taro Vapuhu Patatat Brahmi Bhutasya Yatehe Prageva Tachit Agnina Dagdam. So Yatra Kwapi Vishirnam Sat. A person who has realized Brahman, that person Yati means sannyasin. A sannyasin who has realized Brahman, that person, wherever his vapuhu patatat, his or her body falls, wherever, just like parnamiva taroho. So just like from the tree, the leaf falls, dry leaf. Similarly, a person who has realized God, wherever that person's body falls, that person is not bothered, because it has already been prageva. Before itself, it has been agnina dagdam. It has been burnt by the knowledge of fire of knowledge. It has been burnt by the fire of knowledge. So the body is not of any consequence to a person who has realized God. Sadatmani Brahmani Tishtatah Munehe Purna Advaya Anandam Anandamayatmana Sada Na Desha Kaladi Uchita Pratiksha Twang Mamsa Vitpinda Visarjanaya. A person who is always Sada Purna Advaya Anandam Mayatmana, who always lives in Brahman. What kind of Brahman? Sada Atmani Brahmani Tishtato Munehe. A sage Mune, who lives always in Brahman, which is Purna, infinite, Purna, Advaya, non-dual, one without a second, Anandam, infinite bliss, and that person na desha kaladi uchita pratiksha, does not depend on place, time, etc. So you have to wait, this time you will do. So for people, ordinary people, it is told that you have to do meditation at this particular time, etc. But for a knower of Brahman, all these external conditions do not apply. And that person also, these conditions do not apply for Twang Mamsa Vit Pinda Visarjanaya. It does not apply for Twang, means skin, Mamsa means flesh, and Vit filth. So this person can give up the body at whatever time they want. So people who are otherwise, some people, they don't give up the body, they will wait, like Bhishma waited. Now Bhishma is a knower of Brahman, was a knower of Brahman, but he waited. Uttarayana, Dakshinayana, all this. So they wait for Uttarayana and they will give up the body. But a person who is knower of Brahman need not wait like that. Dehasya moksho no moksho na dandasya kamandaloho avidya hridaya granthi moksho moksho yatah tatah. You see, dehasya moksha is not moksha. Giving up the body is not liberation. You will have to again come. So people say, oh, I will get mukti. Usually in ordinary parlance, they show that a person is dying, is not able to die. In film and all, it has become more popular. That person is not able to die because something, and then they finally mukti. That is not mukti. That person will again be born. Mukti, the body's liberation, is not mukti. Na dandasya kamandaloho. And you see, if you give up outward positions and you have danda, means sannyasi has got a stick, that is called danda, or kamandalu, a sannyasi has a kamandalu. So all these things are signs of your giving up, external renunciation, but that also is not liberation. But liberation is avidya hridaya grantihi moksha, destruction of the knot of avidya. So once you are free from the ignorance, knot of ignorance, that is true liberation, that is true moksha. Not just becoming a sannyasi, because nowadays sannyasins, they have net worth of 10,000 crores. They themselves take sannyasa and have a net worth of 10,000 crores. So people are now saying it is better career option to become sannyasi. What happened today? They did not give good breakfast. All of you are like in a mortuary or something. No, into anyway. You are all sitting as though some mortuary something is there. No. Cremation ground or something. Kulyayam atha nadyam va shivashetre api chatvare parnam patati chettena taroho kimnu shubha shubham. If there is a tree and from that tree a leaf falls, taroho parnam patati chet. If a leaf falls in a small stream, behind hospital there is a stream like that, or in a river, Okay, or in a Shiva Kshetre. So river is there, Lohavati, and there nearby that Shivalaya is there. Or in a Chatvare, means a crossroads where four roads meet. So if the leaf falls in either of these places, how does it, how is it good or evil for the tree? Is it good or evil for the tree? No, it is not. So similarly, you may take your what you call body and you put it wherever. So people have this. Though Sri Ramakrishna has himself seen that if you die in Kashi, Shiva comes and all that. That is true. Sri Ramakrishna has seen, so we cannot deny. But people will say. So we had one Swami who he had taken, he has rest from retired what you call active life, and then he was in Kashi. So he was in Kashi for many years. Then finally one day something happened in Lucknow or Allahabad, somewhere something happened. I think Lucknow. Some function was there. He said, okay, I will go and attend that function. He was staying in Kashi so that when he will die in Kashi, he will get moksha. And he died in Lucknow. So like that. But it does not matter. If you are a person who has realized God, where you die is not important. So recently that Swami died in train. So like that. Patrasya pushpasya phalasya nashavat dehendriya pranadhyam vinashah naivatmanah swasya sadatmakasya ananda akritehe vrikshavad asti chaishah. So the destruction of deha means body, indriya means organs, 5 organs of action, 5 organs of knowledge, prana and buddhi, dhi. The destruction of all these, that means the destruction of this gross body. No, gross body. Gross body is what? Is like the destruction of patrasya pushpasya phalasya nashavat. Like the destruction of a leaf, flower or fruit to a tree. So you see so many trees here. All that tree there, one tree, all leaves have shedded already. The tree has shed all its leaves. There are no leaves, no flowers, no fruits. But again it will come. So when it will snow, you will see all the trees have become barren. But again it will come. It's not completely barren. It's just without leaves, flowers and fruits. So it does not affect the tree. Similarly, this destruction of this body does not affect the Atman. Na eva Atmanah swasya sadatmakasya ananda akritehe vrikshavad. It is how, what is the nature of Atman? True bliss. It is the embodiment of bliss, and that is one's own nature. So, do you think that your body is different from you? That is the thing. So, body is not different from me. I am body. Ki? Borno ki bolche? এখানে কার হয়েছে? কার হয়েছে? আপনার হয়েছে? আমি থিওরিটিক্যালি জেনেছি। ওটাতে কত টেকনিক্যালি কথা বলছি। থিওরি ওই জন্য এখন টেকনিক্যাল জেনে গেছে, এই কথাটা জেনে গেছে না, ওখানে বলতে হবে। प्रज्ञानगण इति आत्मलक्षणं सत्यसूचकम् अनुद्यौपाधिकस्यैवं कथयन्ति अस्यैव कथयन्ति विनाशनम्. प्रज्ञानगण इति आत्मलक्षणं. So satyasuchakam. So prajnanagana, that means embodiment of knowledge. It is the true nature of Atman. And that by telling this, this is told by the Shrutis, the Upanishads or the Vedas. By telling this, they tell that the upadi, aupadikasyaiva vinashanam kathayanti. They tell about the destruction of the limitations of Atman. What are the limitations? So if you see water, there is bubble. Is bubble water?
Water, bubble water is there. Water
Without water, there will be no bubble.
water roof.
Ah. But water is bubble. If somebody asks is bubble water, everybody will be confused. So bubble is not water, but it is not different from water. So similarly, all these ideas you have that this body and mind and all are wrong understanding of Atman. But all of you are so sad, as though you are in some crematorium. There also they will be not sad, because if the person has died, Baba Bacha Kelo, like that. No?
No, Maharaj, it is not so. We are listening. Means you are saying we are sad.
Oh, so people also speak. Acha.
Can speak, bolo.
Can speak. Kotha bole tare.
বলতে পারে।
What do you do?
Maharaj, actually, I have completed my MSc in botany, and now I am a faculty of spoken English in Swami Vivekananda's ancestral house in Kolkata.
Oh, Swamiji's ancestral house in Kolkata. Oh, kotha একটা নতুন খবর শুনলাম. What is your name?
My name is Payal Bhaduri.
अविनाशी वा अरे अयम आत्मा इति श्रुतिः आत्मनः प्रभ्रवीति अविनाशित्वं विनश्यत्सु विकारिषु. So अविनाशी वा अरे अयम आत्मा इति श्रुतिः आत्मनः. The Shrutis say, Vedas say, here Brihadaranyaka Upanishad says, Avinashi va are ayam atma. This atma, are means my dear. Who my dear?
শিষ্য
अरे बृहदारण्यक उपनिषद में my dear क्या? हाँ बोलूं की Maitreyi. So my dear, Yagyavalkya is saying to Maitreyi that here only he says that husband loves wife not because of wife but because of oneself. Wife does not love husband because of husband but because of oneself. So avinashi va are ayam atma iti shruti atmanah prabraviti avinashitvam. So this, you see, by telling avinashi va are ayam atma, this Atman is definitely avinashi, indestructible, immortal. By telling this, Shruti, the Vedas or the Upanishads talk about the immortality of Atman. Atmanah avinashitvam prabraviti vinashyatsu vikarishu. Immortality of Atman in the midst of things which are perishable and modifiable. So here whatever we see, buildings, everything, whatever we see, even this big mountains, etc., everything is perishable, everything is modifiable. But Atman is non-modifiable, it is immortal. Our problem is, we think that this body is immortal. Everybody is dying, but Varna is very confident that he will not die. That is why he is already thinking of BA. You see, he is lost in thought. He is thinking whom I will marry and all that. No. He got upset. এরকম তো ভাবেই নি কি বাজে কথা বলে দিলে. He's totally upset now. Good. At least something has happened. Pashana vrikshah vriksha trina dhanya katanga radhya dagdaha bhavanti hi mrideva yatha tataiva देहेन्द्रिया सुमन आदि समस्त दृश्यम ज्ञानाग्नि दग्धम उपयाति परात्म भावम. So something is going on in his mind. I don't know what, but anyway, some serious thinking is going on, some worry, some anxiety. So pashana vriksha trina dhanya kadanga adya. What happened?
Nothing.
Something has happened. So anyway, but of course you may not want to tell that here. Pashana, just like stone, a tree, vriksha, trina, grass, dhanya, dhan, in Bengali dhan, paddy, kadanga means husk, adya, like this so many things, dagdaha mrideva bhavanti yatha, just like when you burn them, what they become? They just become mrit, means they become earth or ashes. They just are converted into mati. So, or earth. So similarly, tathaiva dehendriyasumana adi samasta drishyam. All these things, body, organs, etc., etc., prana, mind, etc., jnanagni dagdam upayatmi paratma bhavam. When it is burned by the fire, burnt by the fire of realization, it is reduced to supreme self. It is reduced to what? Supreme self. Vilakshanam yatha dvantam liyate bhanu tejasi tathaiva sakalam drishyam brahmani praviliyate. As darkness, when it is different from vilakshanam, it is different from sunlight. But when bhanu tejasi, when sun's radiance comes, darkness goes away. Similarly, all this world which you see, objective universe, dissolves in Brahman. Vipadha. So that is why people are not, because everywhere they are seeing Brahman, everything will get dissolved. So people like Borno and what is your name? Payal. They are afraid. Going to Swamiji's house and all is okay, but Brahma Gyan, all this we don't need. Spoken English.
No, I'm not afraid.
You are not
I want
afraid.
to know these things, yes. And even Maharaj has given me insight of some bit of Swamiji's messages also. So I read because I like to hear all these things. And
That is the point. She wants to know. She wants to hear. But we are not talking about that she has no clue. Most of us have no clue. So, একটু শুনবো, ভালো লাগে এইসব কথা শুনলে খুব ভালো লাগে. I like to hear and I like to go and I like to know, etc.
you
But
say to experience, I understand that.
so if you experience, there is no I. Okay, now you are, I want to know, I want to. So by experience, your I will go. Sri Ramakrishna's example is there. Salt doll went to measure the ocean. What happened to? So people don't want to know. Okay. So that is why they are all afraid. What will happen to me? I think Parno, what is this? Varno is also afraid. Something is there. Something is going on in his mind. He is constantly thinking. ঠিক আছে পরে বলতে পারো আছো তো কিছুদিন কতদিন 4 তারিখ মানে তো হয়ে গেল পরশু ঘটে নষ্টে যথা ভৌম व्योमैव भवति स्फुटम तथैव उपाधि विलये ब्रह्मैव ब्रह्मविद स्वयं simple. There is a jar and inside jar there is space, but when the jar is broken, inside space comes out. Similarly, you are limiting yourself thinking that you are the body and the mind, and once that limitation is destroyed, not by killing yourself, not by doing suicide, committing suicide, but by understanding that you are not that limitation. By getting the knowledge of Brahman, you become Brahman. Kshiram kshire yatha kshiptam tailam taile jalam jale sanyuktam ekatam yati tatha atmani atmavin munihi. A person, a sage who has realized Atman, Atmavid, one who has realized God, will become one with Atman. Just like Kshiram Shire. Just like if you pour milk into milk. But that milk, here that Shankaracharya did not know modern developments. That milk should be same quality milk. So if Mayavati dairy milk you pour into Mayavati dairy milk, okay. Or if you pour powder milk into powder milk, same brand, okay. Or if you pour that adulterated milk of Kolkata into adulterated milk of Kolkata, okay. Otherwise it will not be the same. But anyway, same milk if you pour into the same milk, it will be only milk. If you pour the same oil into oil, tailam taile, it will be same oil. And if you pour water into same water, it will be same water. So it becomes united, ekatam yatim, and it becomes one. Similarly, if you realize God or Atman, you become one with Atman. Evam videha kaivalyam sanvatratvam akhanditam brahma bhavam prapadyaisha yatina avartate punaha. So I am interested only in this. Na avartate punah. So now Varna does not know the problem. And she, MSc Botany, also does not know the problem. And so many people here, we are all fools. That is why Shankaracharya says, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam, Modamate. What is the problem? Varna is now finished. তুমি কি বিয়ে করবে না? করবে তো? তো আমাকে এমন করলে যে না না আমি ভাবছি না। বিয়ে করবে তো তুমি? নাকি সন্ন্যাস নেবে? ওটাও মানে কি কিছু বিরক্ত আছে বাবা, আমি বুঝতে পারছি না কি। But anyway, whatever the cause may be, let it go away. That is my prayer. So that whatever, he is now thinking of doing BA, he has done in English, now he wants to do it in Bengali, and like that so many other things, so many people are, she is wanting to teach spoken English and want to upbring youth of India. That is her ignorance anyway. So all these things people want to do, but if you come again, then this person will also not remember that he has done BA, and she will also not remember that she has done MSc botany, and they will be put in a creche, and afterwards first in play school or creche, then afterwards in this thing, A for apple. So again they will have to start from A for apple, and all stupid people they will teach them. So that is what. So here yatihi na avartate punah. A person, a sage who has given up attachment, does not come back to this world. Evam videha kaivalyam. Understanding that one is not the body. Sanmatratvam akhanditam. And understanding that one is the absolute reality. Brahma bhavam prapadya. And identifying or attaining Brahman, knowledge of Brahman or the idea of Brahman, that person does not take birth again. Sadatmaikatva vigyana dagda avidyadi varshmanah amushya brahma bhutatvat brahmanah kuta udbhavah. Why does not that person take birth again? Because by the knowledge of Brahman and the knowledge of the identity of Jiva and Brahman, that Jiva and Brahman are same, they are not different. By that knowledge, that person becomes Brahmaiva, Brahma Bhutatva, that person becomes Brahman itself. So once a person becomes Brahman itself by Dagda Avidya Varshmanah, by destroying Avidya, ignorance, then Brahmanah Kuta Udbhavah. If a person has become Brahman, Brahman can have no birth. So there is no birth. Maya kliptau bandha mokshau nastah swatmani vastutah yatha rajjau nishkriyayam sarpa abhasa vinirgamau. So Maya kliptau bandha moksho nastah. A person who is attached, actually this Maya kliptau bandha moksho, that bandha and moksha, bondage and liberation, they are all created by Maya, but they are not vastutah swatmani nastah. They do not exist in Atman. Just like yatha rajjau nishkriyayam sarpa abhasa vinirgamo. So just like the abhasa, the appearance, and vinirgama, exit of snake, do not happen in rope. Nothing has happened. Only because of Maya you see this. There is only rope, there is no snake. So there is only your true reality of Atman. There is nothing else. Avritehe sadasatvaabhyam vaktavye bandha mokshane na avriti brahmanah kachit anya abhavat anavritam yadi asti advaita hanihi syat dvaitam no sahate shrutihi. So bandha mokshane, bondage and liberation, vaktavya, can be talked of when there is avrite sad, when there is a asatva or sat of an avriti, a covering veil. If there is an absence or presence of a covering veil, you can talk about bandha or moksha. But if there is no covering, there can be no covering on Brahman, then you cannot talk about this. Kachit anya abhavat anavritam. There can be no covering of Brahman, na avriti brahmanah, because it is always uncovered. Because why there is no covering for Brahman? Because apart from Brahman there is nothing there. Ultimate reality is there. There is nothing other than Brahman. So if there is nothing other than Brahman, what will cover Brahman? There is nothing which will cover Brahman. So yadi asti advaita hanihi syat dvaitam no sahate shruti. So if you see, if there was something else, then Shrutis will not talk about non-duality. So non-duality will always be criticized by Shruti. But Shrutis talk about non-duality. And also Shrutis will then reject, not reject duality, but Shrutis do reject duality. Like we see in so many passages, Advayam, etc. Shrutis talk about non-dual Brahman. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat.